Today, we're talking about why finding the right AI use cases for your business is so hard. A lot of business leaders assume that this should be easy by now. AI tools are everywhere, and with vibe coding and copilots, building prototypes is actually easier than ever. But I'm also hearing that business leaders are still struggling with a bigger problem. What should we actually build? There are some clear reasons for this, and once you understand them, it'll be much easier to find AI opportunities that drive real business value. Hi, my name is Joshua Ebner. I've been in the AI and data science industry for over 20 years, including at companies like Apple and Bank of America. In this video, I'll explain three of the major reasons why businesses struggle to find the right AI use cases, and I'll also explain how top-tier AI professionals think about finding the right AI opportunities, so you can start to think more like them. Okay, let's start with the first major reason, because almost everything else is downstream from this. Finding the right AI use cases should actually start with business diagnostics, not tools. People are actually doing this almost the exact opposite way right now. Everyone is very excited about artificial intelligence, especially things like large language models and, in particular, AI agents. People want to use AI agents for everything, as if AI agents are going to solve every problem. That's not right. So, what you actually need to do is you need to diagnose the business problem, and you need to do that at a detailed level. Then you need to connect the right AI tool and technique to that problem. It's sort of like going to the doctor. The doctor is first going to do a checkup, maybe run some tests or some labs, and they're going to try and figure out exactly what things are going wrong in your body. Then they are going to start putting together a treatment plan to fix those problems and get you healthy again. It's the same thing in business. So let me give you an example. So, a couple of broad goals that most businesses have, things like increasing revenue, decreasing cost, increasing customer satisfaction. Let's talk about increasing revenue, one of the most common goals. There's actually multiple different ways of increasing revenue. You can increase the number of customers, you can increase the number of repeat purchases or the frequency of purchase, and then you can also increase the average cart size. But if you dig into those even further, there are multiple different ways of improving each of those three. So, for example, if you're trying to increase the average cart size, the average purchase value, you can increase the price of your product. If you have one product, you can create multiple products and do some cross sells. You can also have multiple tiers for a single product and do an upsell. So, let's say, for example, you have a single product or service that you're selling for $100. You might have a second tier of that and then upsell to that second tier for, let's say, $200. So there are multiple different ways of increasing your average cart size. So when someone comes to me and says, we want to increase our revenue, my question is, well, do you need more customers? Do you need to increase the average cart size? Do you need to increase the frequency of purchase or the number of repeat purchases? Each of those things is a different problem. And if you dig in even further, it can get much more detailed. And depending on what I diagnose that's going wrong in the business, or maybe what the biggest or best opportunity is for increasing revenue, I'm going to have different AI solutions for all those very detailed problems. So let's bring this back to the higher level that we're talking about. Why is this so hard? We're talking about finding AI use cases. What makes this difficult is that to do these sorts of business diagnostics, you need to have a really good understanding of business, how businesses work, the mechanics of the particular business that you're working in. And you also often need to have really good analytical skills and the right data available for analysis. So if I'm going to be doing this sort of analysis for one of my clients, they need to have the right data for me. And then obviously, I'll need to have the right analytical skills to be able to dig into that data, but also maybe talk to the business executives, the leaders, the different subject matter experts, and everyone else so I can get a complete picture and figure out what's really going on. If you want to do this in your business, you either need to work with somebody that has those analytical and business diagnostic skills, or you need to build those capabilities internally. But even if you diagnose the business problem correctly, there's another issue that's going to come up next that makes it difficult to find the right AI use case. By the way, if you want to know if your company is really ready to use AI, you're going to want to take our AI readiness assessment. It's about 15 questions. It'll take you maybe 3 minutes, and it's going to grade you on three core areas that will help you evaluate your own AI readiness. So find the link in the description below, click on the link, and take our AI readiness assessment right now. So once you diagnose the actual underlying business problem at a fairly detailed level, then you have to figure out the right AI tool or technique that can help solve that problem. This is important because different AI tools and techniques map to different types of issues. Said differently, AI is not one size fits all. You cannot take an LLM and throw it at every problem, or take an AI agent and use it to fix every business issue. This is one of the biggest problems that I'm seeing with business leaders right now who want to use LLMs and agents for everything. So let me kind of explain a little bit more. To go back to that revenue issue that I was talking about, if you want to do upsells, you're probably not going to use a large language model for that. There might be certain parts of solving that problem that you might be able to use an LLM for, but typically if you want to do a upsell, you're going to build an upsell propensity model. We're typically going to use a type of classic machine learning, a classification system for that, and it requires specific types of data and particular knowledge about how to build a classifier. And by the way, a classifier is really a broad class of models. There's multiple different types of classifiers that you could build. You could build a logistic regression system, a neural network, a decision tree, different types of decision trees. There's multiple different types of classifiers that you can build. So you're starting with this problem. Okay, we want to do an upsell. Well, then there's multiple different ways that you can do that. And all of those different solution types have different pros and cons. So there might be multiple different solution types for every potential issue or opportunity. And each of those solution types will have different likelihood of success, different potential impact, different costs, cost to build, and cost to run, and cost to maintain over time. Every solution type is going to have different data requirements, different implementation difficulty, and ultimately a different probability of success. And you need to be able to think like this for every potential solution. So going back to that high level objective of increasing revenue, if you want to increase revenue, you, like I said earlier, need to be able to diagnose all the potential ways of doing that, or the most impactful potential opportunities for increasing revenue, increasing cart size, increasing number of customers, then digging down further, trying to find the exact issue. But also you need to figure out which technical solutions might be able to solve those issues, and then rate those solutions on the implementation difficulty, the requirements, the costs, and so on. This actually brings us to the third reason why finding AI use cases is so difficult. You'll notice that I've talked about two different things so far. There's the business side, the business diagnostics. Then there's the technical side, trying to figure out which solutions technically can fix those problems. So the third reason why finding these use cases is so difficult is that it requires a mixture of different skills that rarely exist inside of one person. So I will tell you personally, I've been in the industry for 20 years. I've worked for some major organizations like Apple and boutique consulting firms. I've also run my own business for a decade. So I have a very good understanding of how businesses work internally. What are the mechanics of business? I have a background in data science and analytics. So I have a lot of that business sense. I understand how businesses work and how to diagnose problems with things like operations and finance and marketing and so on. I have that side, but then I have the AI and technical side. I know all of the different potential solutions to different issues from the technical angle, but it's taken me a really long time to gather that knowledge. Most people in the AI industry, certainly a lot of guys that jumped in a couple of years ago, don't have that background. So it's very difficult to find someone that has the right mixture of business knowledge, business sense, and technical experience. And if you can't find it in one person, then you need to find it inside of a team of people. So then what you're going to be looking for is a team of people that have the business sense, the business diagnostic ability, the analytics ability, and the technical side, the AI and machine learning and implementation skill that's going to be required. So ultimately, if I could sum up this third point, finding the right AI use cases is really hard because it's very difficult to find this range of skills from the analytical to the business sense to the technical understanding and execution, certainly in a single person, but even in a team of people. All of that said, if you want to understand how to find the right AI use cases for your business and how to do this more like professionals do, I recommend that you watch this next video. In the next video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step process for identifying, sorting, and selecting the best AI use cases for your company. You can check that video out here, how to find high leverage AI use cases for your business.